This is the 31st of July, 2013. We're going to run sugar beets. This is the shredder we're going to use. We're trying to get it set up here where we have enough electricity to run that motor. I think it's a 50 horsepower motor. We'll get to look more at the shredder. In the meantime, this is the assembly area of the factory. That's some other press. I'm hunting for a KP16 press. There's a KP16. That one wouldn't do any good. Here's a KP16 press. There's another KP16. But the KP16 would use everything so fast. I think this is a KP12. KP10. We were going to use this on the sugar beet, but it's really too big. So the press we're going to use is this one right here. That is, we have 200 presses in the rental fleet, and we do not have a single KP6 or KP10 available. This is a KP6, and this is the one we will use in the test. Assuming we can find enough parts to put this together right away today. Here's the screw for a KP16 press. You can see this is the inlet, and then we go into the 3 stages of compression. Here's first stage of compression, second stage, and third stage of compression. Notice it's tighter right there compared to right here. Tighter at the end. Anyway, this is in production. That is corn germ. I used that in a test very recently, and we brought the press back to Tampa. This is a KP16 motor, gearbox, the inlet hopper. The screen is behind this cover along here. And the discharge where the cake comes out is here. Here's the air cylinder. It pushes in this discharge door. There you see some more of the corn germ that was last pressed in this screw press. Here's the way the air cylinder is mounted to the frame. There's the frame of the press. This is a bronze bushing which supports the end of the screw, which goes all the way down to the inlet, and that screw goes into that gearbox that we're looking at right there. Sorry I don't have a better picture of a KP16. Okay, they've got the shredder set up for me. Here are the sugar beets that were sent to us. We ran through one end to make sure it's going to work. And now we're going to shred the rest of these sugar beets. Before there you see the screen down at the bottom, and these are the blades that mash the sugar beets. Bite or not?
Bite, huh?
Okay, here's all our shredded material, and we're feeding it in that KP6 press that you saw earlier. It will tell us closely what a KP16 will do. We have the rotating cone in operation. I may disconnect that, but that's what that looks like. You can see the two pins on the back of the cone. Those two pins engage there, and this collar, which is clamped onto the shaft, drives it. Neat feature. We may disconnect it for this test. You can see the screw going by here. I set the RPM down very low. There's the screw. It'll go by. Why can't I see it? Anyway, starting to get a little juice there. At first, we're just conveying wet material from here down to here, so at the start, when we get material down here, we will see liquid come out for a little bit, and then we'll get a cake. Once we get stabilized and see how we're operating, we will do a time test here and get our juice yield. This is what it looks like in the inlet hopper. We've got a 2/3 pitch flight on the screw. That's helping feed it in. The screen is off here to the right. We're getting juice out. And
I don't think so.
it's not bridging. That's nice. Sometimes in a small press like this, we have trouble with bridging. We're still getting some liquid out here. I expect that to stop and go away. It's taken quite a while. Of course, we've got this set at 12 hertz. It's running very slowly. You see the screws turning very slowly. But we're starting to get some cake out here. Still getting plenty of juice. Notice down at this end, we're getting solids through the screen. That's normal. It looks worse than it is because they accumulate and just sit there. The average overall is something, well, you definitely have to screen the fiber out of the press liquor, but it's not nearly as bad as that part that makes it look. Our cake is coming out. If I can catch some of this here. If I take this and squeeze it, let's see what happens. I'm still getting a lot of juice out. And I might have to press this a second time, double pressing, to get all the juice out. Just the nature of the press. We're disconnecting the rotating cone feature. That should help dry this material. What we're going to do is we'll reach a stable operating and condition. Then we will do a time test and yield calculation. What percent liquid, what percent cake. Then we are going to press the cake over again to see how much more juice we get out in second pressing. Okay, now without the rotating cone, you can see the cake is coming out thicker. We have a longer plug, and if I take this material and squeeze it, I'm getting a film between my fingers, but boy, I've got a lot less liquid coming out. We may not need to second press this. If I can't get any more than this out, second pressing would not be worthwhile. I think we're ready to start our test. I'm going to put down the video first. Starting the test, this is what things look like. Okay, we're 2 minutes into our test, and cake still coming out on its own accord, and I forgot to mention the air pressure here set at 50 psi, a little over 3 bar. We have an air regulator over here. And so the air pressure, the higher the pressure, the more the door pushes shut, and the more juice yield you get. This is about as good as we can get. I say that because when I take a sample here and squeeze it, it's very little liquid. I can get my hand a little wet. Here's where we weigh the results. Our pressed cake, we got 6.6 pounds of pressed cake, and we got 17 pounds of pressed liquor. So our yield was 60-70% liquid. I just noticed this. You should recognize it from the beginning of the video. It cleaned up nicely. Hey Bill, could you turn the press on again?
Sure.
We've started to clean the press. I just turned it. No, let her run fast. Bill was cleaning out this press, so he opened the cone, and so this was us cleaning out the press, residue material, and of course, let me show him a good-looking press, Bill. Yeah, a good-looking press looks like this, but this, you saw what it looked like this morning at the beginning of the video. The slot width on the screen is 15 thousandths of an inch. I think that's 350 microns. And yeah, we had no trouble at all with this. Now there's where we were doing our testing. Here you have, now this is a screw for a really big press. Here's a screw for a different press. It's 16 inch, but not a KP16.